Hello, everybody, and welcome to week number 7 of Blades in the Dark. My name is Matt. I'm joined by Anthony, Emily, Mike, and Ian, and we are here for the 7th week of a very fun game with the Gambit, our little gang, preparing to go do some very naughty things to the rest of Duskfall. How's everyone doing today? This is the part where everyone answers.
You usually want me to go last. So.
Oh, I mean, in any order.
Tuesday.
In any order, we can answer the question of how we're doing.
I'm doing okay. There have been a couple patch notes for a couple games that I like playing released recently. That's for Rainbow Six Siege and Overwatch. And excited about the Rainbow Six changes. Not so excited about the Overwatch ones. So.
Okay. What in particular are you not excited about with Overwatch?
Oh well, they're removing a feature that is useful. They're at least for the time being removing the avoid this player feature,
Right.
as they say it's not working as intended.
Okay. I didn't know if that's what you were talking about or if there's something else that I didn't know about.
Now, that's pretty much all that this patch is changing. There's a few bug fixes for like Reaper being able to teleport to places that he shouldn't, but that's the biggest thing that they're doing for this patch.
Have they addressed the issue of the Roadhog ult glitch yet, or has that not been replicated enough for them to care?
There's no mention of a Roadhog ult glitch.
What glitch is that?
It's the glitch where when you are shooting Roadhog's ult, it will randomly tell you to look immediately straight up, like halfway through the ult. So instead of like you're firing and then suddenly like within one frame you're just like looking straight up, shooting.
Are you sure
nothing.
like, you don't get like hit by a concussive blast from Pharah or something like that?
I'm entirely positive.
Okay.
Concussive blasts just knock you to the side. They keep your aim the same way, but this is something that has happened to me a couple times, and I'll try to talk to Blizzard. Bring down the man.
You.
Yeah.
I believe you. Roadhog is pretty good.
Yes. Yeah, Roadhog is.
I saw a Roadhog like kind of glitch where he hooked a person and they left the session, so the hook stayed there and then left the map. So the Roadhog was just standing there holding a hook as it stretched through the map, and he was just like,
That's also.
What do I do now?"
You'll have to link me to that later. That sounds funny.
For Rainbow Six Siege, though, they did a pretty hefty buff on one of my favorite operators to play, Capcan. They made it so you can... I don't know if anyone watching plays Rainbow Six Siege, but you should if you're not.
I do, and
You can
technically
now-
I'm watching, so.
Yeah, you can put the trip mine anywhere on a door frame instead of just in one set location. So you could put it at any height, and they've also made it a whole lot harder to spot. Meaning
Nice.
that little red screw that usually comes to the other side, gone.
Yeah, that is really nice.
And the laser's much harder to spot, they say.
Yeah, because I mean, for the first like couple of weeks of that game, it was still difficult to catch because no one knew what that red screw meant, or no one knew to check the bottoms of the doors. Because what they're changing into now were things that everyone assumed were already in the game, until they played Capcan and realized that they had to put it at the bottom of the door. And then, like 2 weeks later, everyone was like, "Yeah, shoot the bottom of the door, and if you see a laser, don't walk through it, or if you see that giant red screw, don't walk through it." And that's all there was to it. It was just easy that way.
It's gonna... Until people figure out how to play with this new Capcan, he's gonna be super powerful.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he'll just be one of the top picks for a little while until people kind of relearn how to address the situation. Which hopefully it finds that right balance, because it might just be a thing with like his kit is really difficult to balance if people place it in a certain spot, because then people are gonna know. So
we should play some Siege tonight after this, perhaps.
maybe. I do like to try to render out the videos so that I actually upload them on time and not like on Sunday. So we'll see. But yeah, Ian, how are you doing, man?
I am doing good. I started an internship with the company last week, woodworking, so it's been fun. Kind of not sure how I think about this because the first project that I am currently working on that they gave me make this box, and it has to fit these cards. And I look over, and it's fucking Magic cards. I'm like, I can't escape this thing. Like, even if I go to work now, it can't get away from it.
Hey, maybe you
It's
shouldn't be trying
bullshit.
to escape it, you know?
Just embrace it, you know.
Yeah.
No. Never.
Oh, well,
Matt Dennis has some cool Magic cards
Yeah.
he got.
Yeah, I did just get some new cards that I will...
What, were they making you make a deck box essentially?
It's like a box. I think it's gonna have like 8 slots where you can put different cards in it.
They're
I don't know.
making
I'm making a box.
It's like a display case?
No, like a storage box. I assume
okay.
for cards that I was kind of thinking like that boxes they normally. I'm not gonna say this to you because I won't admit that I know what this game is, but the
Why
boxes
not?
are not normally like this. So
In what way were they different? Like, because they got a few different styles of storage boxes that different manufacturers make.
I'm saying that normally they're like this big. You know, you can fit them in your hands, and I'm talking about one that's like fitting in your arms.
sounds like it's for a
So-
cube
Oh, so it's like a
it could be.
like a cube.
or a lot of decks, you know.
Yeah.
Mm. Probably
Okay.
some EDH nerd.
Oh,
Yeah. Some
yeah.
guy who has like 12 decks, like Adam Swanson.
If y'all haven't seen the work that Aaron Kane does for Magic the Gathering deck boxes, you really got to check out his stuff.
He just got a website. It's cool.
He did.
It's
Aaron
fancy.
Kane, AaronKaneCustoms.com or something like that. I forget the exact link.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
So Ian, besides loving the game of Magic the Gathering, what else have you been up to?
There was something else, but I can't think of what it was. Probably in games, but I can't remember.
Okay.
That's how my life is right now. You can barely remember what you've done in this week, so that's how it is for me.
Fair enough. Emily, how are you?
I am pretty good. A little bit on the weary side. Matt and I went to a friend's wedding this past weekend, and I am still sore from dancing. So, yeah. I did not stretch properly because I didn't know about certain shenanigans that were going to go down, and then they did, so now I am suffering from that.
Shenanigans like dancing?
Yeah.
You didn't know there was going to be
dance
dancing at the wedding?
shenanigans.
Dance
No, I knew
shenanigans.
that. I didn't know the things that I was going to do.
Okay.
So.
Now I'm
Yeah.
concerned. Because I was not there for half of that dancing type period. So now I'm real worried.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Really, it's fine.
No, I'm sure.
I just I was ill. My muscles were ill-equipped for the amount of aerobic movement that occurred. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
One level, one harm, muscles sore.
Oh.
Yes. And continue to be sore. But yeah, so little tired from that, but it was a lot of fun. And currently there is a park that is being built across the street from my house. So
True.
every day there is a new obstacle in the road that I have to dodge. And that makes my life fun when I haven't had my coffee yet and I'm driving to work. And
Yikes.
oh, would you look at that man in the yellow hat? I better not hit him. So yeah.
Don't do that. That'd be bad.
Just the man in the yellow hat, though. Everyone around him, they're fine to hit.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
And Curious George.
Yes.
Yeah, screw that guy anyway, right?
If he has a monkey with
Right.
him, just steer clear.
He is a monkey as a slave.
Oh my gosh.
That's
On
why
that
the monkey's
note-
always trying to leave, is because he's in a servitude relationship. That's why he's always trying to escape.
On that note, Anthony, how are you?
I'm great.
Good, dude. Sick.
Man, I feel like I have the same story every week. Allergies and work.
Yeah.
Allergies and work.
Allergies bugging you still?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had to. Well, obviously not as much as last week, right? Like, holy cow. Last week was nuts. Actually, last week at this time when we would normally be playing, it started hailing like crazy here. As you can tell, it's not that anymore. And
Like crazy by Pacific Northwest standards, anyway.
it was okay, sure, but it was pretty good. It was pretty decent.
It was alright. It was alright,
and-
hail.
And our power goes out like a lot when there's hail, so I was just not in the mood to have our VODs for a week get ruined. And also Anthony was sick, and Emily was kind of stranded out at Bed Bath and Beyond because of the hail. So did not work out. But we are here this week. As for me, Anthony, were you done? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I mean, now I am.
Okay.
Cool.
Damn. So now I feel bad.
Wrote the flow.
As for me, I'm a bad friend. As for me, seriously, yeah, I went to that weekend or the wedding. See, I went to a wedding this weekend, and I was a groomsman, which was fun and stressful and tiring. I'm just incredibly exhausted. I don't feel like I really got much of a break in the weekend, so I'm kind of just praying for this week to end smoothly at work so that I can enjoy an actual weekend. Because it was awesome, and I'm really proud of my friend and happy for him, and had a good time. But like, yikes, man, weddings are a big deal. So
They're hard work.
yeah, they're hard work, and I think it might be like the actual wedding weekend might actually be easier for the bride and groom than it is for like the bridesmaids and the groomsmen. Like, just
As someone who's been the best man twice in 2 of my friends' weddings, yeah, it's stressful.
yeah, it's a lot. So, but it was really cool to catch up with a lot of friends. We actually drove home from Seattle, we live in the Portland area, so it's about a 3-hour drive home. We
Bad
started.
idea.
Yeah, we left at about 10:30 p.m. And yikes, that was a long drive. So
We listened to
Thankfully-
a lot of butt rock on the way.
oh, a ton of
back
butt
then.
rock. Yeah, a ton of
It
butt
was
rock.
very exhilarating.
Oh yeah. But you know what? Like, I'm really thankful for Emily because she kept me awake the whole time, and we made it home safe, so that was good. In other news, I bought these.
Oh wow.
Which are, yeah, right? Ian, aren't they sick?
Ian,
I actually
Ian,
Amazing.
you should like make a box for those or
Oh,
something.
dude,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
man.
Fuck.
So I actually, this is the old art Force of Wills, and I want the new art Force of Wills, but the new ones are currently more expensive. So I got these in the hopes that someday someone will be like, "Hey, I see you have the old Force of Wills. Can I trade you?" And I'll be like, "Take these. Give me your new ones. They're sick." So that's kind of the hope. But I'm in the process of building into a legacy deck, slowly but surely. So send all your funds to me, so I can buy one. I'll need your life savings and also your firstborn in order to buy a set of dual lands.
It's
So-
the wrong legacy deck because it's not Charbelcher, but it's alright, you know?
This coming from the guy who couldn't finish a modern deck.
Because it got banned.
It took 6 months.
I
Anthony,
have
see
some
you.
of the cards.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I
Wait, is
bought
that a box I see?
stuff.
Did Ian make you that box, Mike? The one behind you on that table?
This one?
Yeah.
This is just a plastic.
Oh. He just leaves. He'll be back. They always come back.
No.
Now
No, this
Emily's
is
leaving too. We started talking about.
Nice.
All right, now we're okay. This is the Magic
Nice.
podcast.
my band.
Yeah.
This is Revy on.
Oh, okay. So they're
If
back.
you
So I guess we're
came
not doing a
here-
Magic podcast.
If you came here expecting blades in the dark,
You were wrong.
we should
Yeah,
get into
yeah. We should totally get into it. Mike, where did we leave off, man? It's been 2 weeks since we played, so help me out here. Where did we leave off?
Sure.
Who am I?
I don't know who you are. I don't know who I am. Before we start, I want to do a test. I want to turn on my air conditioner, but let me know if it's too much. All right? I'm gonna turn it on, and let me know if the noise is too much.
It's not too much, but my desire to have air conditioning is
Okay.
compared to you. I'm dying. It's so hot in my room right now, and it's so
Word.
bright outside.
So, last time we played, which was
June 7th.
two weeks ago.
Yes.
Let's just say, because that's the easiest for me, because I don't know what day it is half the time. We were in the midst of planning our next score to go and plant a mysterious artifact in the office of the leader of the Red Sashes, or
Yeah,
leader of the Red Sashes. Yeah, trying to remember my own score.
The Doom Egg, right? And we were, and we spent some time figuring out that it was basically like a ghost bomb, like sort
bomb.
of, yeah.
Yeah.
And
so you guys were hired by Bazo to plant this device in the office of, her name's Malira, right? Malira, yeah, I'm just double checking that. Malira of the Red Sashes.
Mhm.
And you guys did some finagling to study the Doom Egg, as you guys have called it, and have determined that what it does is attracts spirits and kind of siphons off energy from the spirits over time, and once it reaches a critical mass of energy, theoretically it explodes. You know, you guys have no like experimental proof that it explodes necessarily, but theoretically it can only hold so much energy. So
right.
So that's where we is, and I don't think we left off in any specific place other than finalizing all of our planning. And
yeah, we actually had we were about to move into planning, I believe. Like we hadn't even started planning anything.
Sure.
I thought we were in the midst of planning, kind of, because I remember we were talking about where everybody was going to be at the Red Sashes headquarters.
You had started talking about it. We
that's right.
Get into the mechanical aspect of planning yet.
Yeah.
Other than deciding that we're going to try to go for a stealth plan, if I remember right.
A distraction plan.
Distraction. Yeah.
Like,
well, distraction isn't a.
It's not a plan. It's like
not a plan type. It's an aspect of a plan, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The actual like overarching plan itself is a stealth plan, right? Because one or two of you is going to try to get in unnoticed, plant the egg, and GTFO, while the other two of you use the goons that Ian or Hester. It was Hester that got the goons. He rolled a 1 on the quality of the goons, so they're super good. They're terrible. So they're gonna be able to distract pretty well, but that's about it.
I mean, they like beer.
They do. You offered them all of your free booze.
That's maybe not true.
How bad could they be?
That's how they took it. All of the free booze that they could want. You know. You guys can have that.
Maybe that's why they're a one-time use group.
Yeah.
So they're about to learn.
Yeah.
Speaking of booze, here we go. I got my drink, so I'm good.
Proud of you. So,
Alright.
So, can you remind me which page on the rulebook has the plans, like the different kinds of plans?
So that is on your playbook. You're the wizard.
It'll be under your character sheet. Well, wait. Yeah, under your playbook option.
I thought there was like a general, like, hey, this is sort of like how they're like different opportunities or different plans you can make.
So there is the planning section of the rulebook, which is on page.
Oh wait, okay, but I see it here. I thought ours was a deception plan.
16. Page 16 is what it has everything else under. So
Okay.
I suppose that's what we have to decide, right? Is this more of a stealth plan, or do you think this is a deception plan?
Right. I mean, so like there are bits of both in either way, right? Because
Right.
like it's a deception plan, and the plan was to get all the drunk friends to go fighting out front, so that I believe it was Lyric and Hestor could go in, and Wakasis was going to be distracting someone. I don't recall who.
Is he a new recruit or something?
He was just going to be with the goons, if I remember right.
I think there were 2 doors or something. Like goons at one door, I'm taking the other door.
Yeah, because I was
like
going to be. Yeah, I was alone with the goons, or I was going to be alone with the
Nice.
goons, and Wakasis was going to be doing something else. Like we had gone back and forth about that, but I think that's ultimately what we decided.
Okay.
And
Alright,
the plan
so-
is just to leave it there.
So deception or stealth? What do we think? Because we got to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
If it's
I
a
know-
deception plan, then you got to provide the method of the deception, which I guess in this case would be a distraction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I would argue that it's like a stealth plan because while there's distractions, it's more along the lines of achieving our goal. We are having to stealth.
Okay.
But that's just
Yeah.
my 2 cents.
Yeah, like the plan is that we get in there, we plant the bomb without anyone knowing that it was us doing it, which I guess ultimately is stealth. Even if there is deception involved with it. So okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And if I'm correct on this, then the deception or the distraction itself, that's going to be a teamwork action.
It's a linked plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh,
Bless you.
Sorry. Linked plans. I should be still on page 16.
Yeah.
So, conversion or setup is a setup or assist maneuver that a team member performs as part of the infiltration plan. See teamwork page 17 for details. Conversion is its own plan linked to a future infiltration plan. And you play it out as a full series of actions with the end goal being there are no guards at the house when we infiltrate it later. It's totally fine for a single operation to consist of several linked plans like this. Alright, so we just have to decide if you want to try to play out everything simultaneously, or if you want to essentially do the distraction as its own miniature score, and then if you're successful at that, then when you try to infiltrate, there will at the very least be a severely reduced number of guards at the location you're trying to infiltrate.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
I like
to
that
me.
a lot. Kind of combines our plans.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do them separately then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a linked
So-
plan. Yeah.
This is going to be a setup group action. So who is going to be leading the group action for the distraction?
I think my character should maybe be the one because I'm going to be the one out there with the idiots. But maybe there's a different idea for that because my character's not exactly that's maybe not his forte.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I have a lot of skills related to that, but
True.
when he's put in a group of people, does Oscar step up, or does he look for the person with the best aptitude? Like, how does Oscar think about that? Because I think
that's a good
his
question.
attitude, like, yeah, maybe in a like, okay, if a bunch of idiots are under, like, if he feels responsible for those idiots, does he have to try to make the plan go, or does he just kind of let the pieces fall where they may?
I think that Oscar in this case knows that his role in this is basically just to like kind of fuel the fire for the idiots, and to let them be the distraction ultimately. Like,
right.
Like what the way Oscar thinks about this, he's thinking theoretically, if shit goes south and like the guards come out and they move him out of there really quick, like what Oscar's plan is to do is he's gonna walk away very quietly, just like, okay, fine, and then he's gonna go get them more drunk and bring them back, like even rowdier than they were beforehand. And his goal is just to fuel the fire, not to actually be the one doing the distracting. He's just fueling the distraction.
Yeah. So I mean, we would probably agree on a plan and then split up, right?
Yeah.
So I think that what might be happening here is you guys, you work out in character beforehand and we don't have to play it out, but essentially Oscar is going to perform a setup action, which I was just double checking, it's a different thing than a group action. So you're going to be rolling one of your attributes for essentially using these goons to distract the guards.
Okay.
And so you roll that, and then anyone else who follows through or follows up on that distraction is going to get a +1 level of effect or an improved position.
Okay, and that includes anyone that's acting inside, not necessarily directly with that distraction, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
So when Hester goes to do the actual infiltration, he's like, yeah, I'm following through on the distraction. And so he's either going to be able to choose to get a +1 on effect or just an improved position to start with. And then he's going to be able to do that.
Okay. Do I tell you which stat I'd like to roll for it? Because I think I have one.
Yep.
I think I'd like to roll consort.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of consorting with these guys. Like, the plan is to go there and be like, hey, my friend Hester told you guys about, like, you know, free booze if you come help us out with something. Like, hey, I'll start pouring right now if we get together and make this thing happen. Let's go out there. And then the plan isn't even really to tell them that the job is to go fight out front of the Red Sash hideout. It's just to kind of, like, fuel them out there and then, like, bet one of them that they can't beat up the other guy. And see, you know, like, the plan is not to make this look organized at all. The plan is that none of them will know that it's actually the job.
Right.
So that if any of their drunk asses speak up, they don't say something like, you know, this guy hired us. They say, like, he dared me. And I'm like, he's a fucking idiot. So so the plan is just to consort with them. And maybe sway is more accurate, but, like, I have a stat in consort. So I'm consorting with them because of my connection with Hester and Hester's connection with them. So
Okay. I think that is fair.
okay, cool.
Because it's not quite command, which would be another one that would work. But
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not his soldiers. They're his.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is a really important distinction. I'm not commanding them to come out and do that. We're just kind of, I'm taking the boys out for a night on the town, you know? My boy promised that we pay him in booze, so let's make a forward payment on this thing. Let's get this ball rolling. And then,
or
you know,
do you want to buy them drinks?
yeah. I mean, I would like to take them to the Gambit and buy them drinks, aka let them drink from my cheap booze that's left over from when we stole that bar.
Do we think that it would be fair to assume that the Gambit's stash of alcohol and booze counts as one of its coin?
I think that's fair. I mean, we had some already, but I think that's fair to call it a coin and say that that's kind of how we keep it stocked.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I was thinking, like, if you wanted to, like, spend one of the crew's coin in order to assist with this, we might be able to work with something like either improved effects or improved position.
I think that makes a lot of sense. To make it cost a coin to booze.
We would have spent that money on it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Make sure you take it out of the crew's bank, not your personal one.
right. Okay.
So on your crew sheet, then make sure everyone is keeping track of, you are now at 1 coin as a crew instead of 2.
Okay, that's fine.
Weird.
It's on the third tab of the
Yeah, oh, I just was missing the coin section. There it is. Okay.
All right. So, before we do any rolls, we want to establish exactly what's happening here, because if you check on page 16, the plan and engagement, you can see the 2 different ways the book says you can handle linked plans.
Mm-hmm.
One is kind of, I think, the direction we're heading now, which is, you know, someone does a setup maneuver or a couple of people do a setup maneuver, and then you get the benefits of that.
Mhm.
Or, you know, its own plan, and then if you succeed, then there's a whole lot less guards in the house.
I think so. The second one is that it's its own plan, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how it seems to me. Like, Oscar's not going to go inside and plant that bomb himself, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
and I don't think Wacasis is going to go, like, join up with them later. The point is that we're going to be outside and handling our end of it, and just assuming that they'll be able to handle theirs because of our attempt.
So you're thinking this is like you and Wacasis carrying out a plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of independent of Hester and Lyric, and then they're going
We're
to
just going parallel.
Yeah, that's kind of how we arrived at it too. We were like, well, we can't just walk in and put it down on the desk, right?
Hey, here's
Something
this
else has to
bomb.
happen too. You want an egg?
I mean, maybe you could have, like, tried to work something where you pose as, like, some sellers of a good, and you go try to, you know, get them to buy the egg from you, but
God.
Damn, that would have been
How
real
that have
conniving.
been Hester
I'm kind of
and
into
Lyric.
it now that you mentioned
True
it.
salesman.
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually, because then we can get some coin for it. Would you like this bomb? It'll cost you $2. You know, or whatever.
You need to put this bomb
You
in
should-
here?
You should put it in your leader's office.
Makes a great Mother's Day gift.
Just throwing out some alternatives for you guys to consider.
Yeah. It's just a little home fragrance, you know.
Yeah.
It'll just emit some
Put
sweet
it on your shelf.
scents.
Put it on your shelf.
You probably got some little figurines in there. It'll look good with them, trust me.
I don't know if Malir is the type to have like any sort of trinkets.
No, we just
I don't know.
do a Kirby salesman on her. Like you gotta try this egg. Just check out what it does to the ghosts.
It's the best egg in town.
Like walk in there, throw it on the ground.
All right, so I think we've settled on that plan, right?
On the distraction infiltration plan.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's do the distraction plan first.
Okay.
So that's going to be between, that's going to be you and Wakasis.
Mhm.
Pull up your guys' character sheets here. So for the engagement roll, let's see. It's a fortune roll using the vulnerability of the target as the trait. All right. So, trying to decide how prepared they are for this kind of thing. I would call it just average. This isn't necessarily like the headquarters of the Red Sashes or anything. This is most likely just an office that's kind of disconnected from the main HQ that the leader can go and have off the book meetings and things like that. So
Sure.
I would give it at average. So that's going to be 2d6.
Plus, I imagine that they're not exactly looking at this like it's going to be anything big. The plan is that they would respond to it with an average amount of,
Yeah.
response.
And that's a good point because it's also trying to judge their vulnerability to this specific kind of plan,
Mhm.
which for this engagement role is just a distraction of, hey, there's some thugs like outside, throwing rocks at our windows or whatever you guys decide to do, So I think that 2d6 is pretty okay for that. So this is going to determine how good you guys have it. All right, I'm going to roll 2d6. A 6. You guys are super in control.
Okay. Nice.
We're so good.
Game too easy, you know?
So
This
good
is
at this
Boy's
game.
so drunk.
So, good outcome. The PCs exploit the opportunity established by the detail. There are no sudden surprises as the action begins. So, you guys find yourself out in front of this, it's kind of this rundown wooden building. It's nestled in between a few other buildings on this block. It's probably 3 or so blocks away from, like, the nearest tavern. Not necessarily your guys's, but
Just
it's
the
not
nearest
like next door to the tavern or anything, but
one. Right.
it's a little bit of a saunter down. And so, do we think we start with you guys at the bar or out in front of the house?
So, I mean, I think we could just cut to the part where we're at the house and we kind of see Oscar and Wakasis and the crew kind of round the corner. You hear them first, but you see them come around the corner. And, like, there's Oscar who's taking up the rear, and he's just kind of laughing with them and chatting with them, and they're all just kind of moving. And, they've all got, like, in Peaky Blinders, the youngest of the brothers, John, how he has that kind of, like, dick-ass swagger to his walk the whole time. That's how, like, 90% of these guys walk. Like, they just think they are the kings of Duskval, and they are feeling like they are on top of the world. They've had a couple drinks, they're full of pride, they're full of vigor, They're like, oh yeah, we're the best guys around here, we're just walking around, and I tell them, you see kind of a cut to it, before I round the corner, where we're at the bar, and everyone's having their last shot or whatever, and Oscar's like, oi, there's another tavern, maybe a couple blocks this way, follow me, they've got the best rum in town. And so he, like, kind of grabs them and kind of, like, pats them along and is scooting them along, and I imagine he looks at Wakasis and he just kind of, like, fist bumps him. Like, Oscar's had a drink too, okay? Like, so he's just like, hey, this is going to go great. And maybe he doesn't fist bump him, maybe he just, like, kind of hits him on the shoulder, and follows along.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys, you get out in front of the house, the office building,
Mm-hmm.
and There's probably 2 or 3 blue coats at the. Sorry, not blue coats.
I was like,
It would
excuse
just
you?
be- yeah, it would just be
Okay.
red stash guards.
Okay.
Short
Uh,
mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 at the front door, and then as you walk in front, you can see there's an alleyway off to your right, and there's a couple more guards down that alleyway, and maybe you can even see 1 or 2 up on the roof or something with some long rifles, and they're kind of eyeing you as you approach. They're on guard for any troubles that might be caused.
I imagine that one of the drunkards looks at the guy on the roof and says, "Hello! Don't fall!" And then I imagine another one's like, "Is the tavern around here?" And Oscar, it like cuts back to Oscar, and he's like, "Aye, the tavern's close, but did you see the way that man looked at you? I think he wants to scruff. I think you ought to fight him.
Which one looked at me?
That one right there." And he points to one of the guards in the alleyway.
He's like, "You see that, boys? He gave me the eye."
Ah, he gave you the eye, but you know what? It's not different than the eye that this man gave you 20 minutes ago. And he points to one of the guys in the group. He's like, "You should have seen him at the bar. You should have seen the way he eyed you. He eyed you like you're nothing. He eyed you
Jed?
like you... Yeah."
Jed, you looking at me funny? It's like, no, man.
Jed, don't you
mate-
lie to me.
I've had a few drinks. Maybe I looked at you a little funny
Yeah, why would you do that?
because of that thing you said like last month where
And what was that thing you
like,
said?
you were like, "Hey, Jed, I was with your sister last night," and so I was thinking about that.
He was with
And-
your sister!
Like,
And he's alive?
and he's
No
like,
wonder
"Oh,
that
come on,
guard-
mate."
No wonder that guard was
Yeah.
looking at you.
Takes a swing at Jed for sure, and and then all the rest of the guys, they just start fighting each other for no good reason whatsoever.
Yeah, I go to the guards and I say, I kind of like, so during that time I imagine I was like in the crowd because I'm shorter than most of these guys. Like I'm in the crowd, I'm like, yeah, that guy. And then as soon as this happens, I kind of like give this little hasty scuffle like out of the little crowd. I'm like, guards.
All right. Let's see. We should make a roll to see how effective this is.
Okay.
So you're trying to get the guards to go over there. So what do you think works for that? What action would you like to roll? Consort might still
sway?
make sense here.
Consort. So what is the definition of consort? Because I'm a little bit confused on.
Sure. So let's see. Where's that at?
Because these aren't exactly friends.
Here, I
Like,
have it right
I
here.
think I would.
if you want me to.
More so, I'm consorting.
creation.
I'm consorting with the thugs. I'm not really consorting with the guards. I'm just yelling to the guards for help.
Yeah.
Right, you're-
So
At the moment, you're trying to get the guards to go over there. So the definition of consort is consort with connections from your heritage, background, friends, or rivals to gain access to resources, information, people, or places.
Yeah. So I mean, do I
Sounds a
do
little
I need to
like
roll
sway.
for do I need to roll for consort to make sure that like these guys are putting on a convincing act, or is that just like good?
I mean,
You're not trying to convince them, right? You're trying to actually have them think these things.
Yeah.
Which
They're-
makes it seem more like sway to me.
Yeah.
they're drunk and they're not that bright, so so it's not
Very
that
swayful.
difficult to get them to actually start fighting. Like
Right,
we've already done that.
Sure. Now is Wakasis with me still, or like?
Well, I mean, you sort of addressed the alleyway a little bit. If it's visible from the front, are those guards able to see what's happening out front?
Yeah, they probably have a small glance of a little bit of what's going on. Not enough to know exactly what's happening, but enough to make them curious.
Do we already decide what door that our friends are going through?
That is going to be, decided when we get to their plan, I think, because we
Okay.
haven't decided
Yeah.
on an
Yeah,
entry.
I mean, I think I need to go distract the guards that are off on the side, or draw them away from that at least, because
Okay.
we're not going to get everybody away from the front door if
Yeah,
there's
so
guys
you
on the
think-
roof.
You think maybe you
The
want to go
alleyway.
and try to get the alleyway guard's attention and try to get him to come deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
And then Oscar, you want to try to get the guards who are at the front door to come deal with the hooligans.
Yeah.
So, do you think that maybe rolling a group action between the two of you for sway maybe might work here?
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think Wacasis should lead it.
Kids should lead this way.
I think so. I think perhaps knowing better the position, like we can justify it by saying like backing up, and Oscar doesn't actually do the shuffle out and ask for the guards. It's actually Wacasis maybe that like starts asking for the guards, and then Oscar follows up, and goes to the ones at the door.
Or Oscar's the one that goes to the guards, but Wacasis is the one that's drumming up the insecurities of the drunken men.
Okay, sure.
I mean, yeah, that would be a sway roll.
Yeah, I think that no matter what, I think it sounds like a sway roll. So I think that we can roll a group sway between the two of you.
Okay.
And I think that should do it for kind of encompassing the whole scenario.
How much stress is it to push yourself?
2.
Yikes! Not doing that. Do you have a devil's bargain for me?
The
man who has 0 in sway and has 6 stress.
I think that a good devil's bargain for this would be that maybe some of the Red Sash guards, they kind of apprehend one of these gang members and turn him over to the Bluecoats, and there's a chance he might tell them a little bit about you guys, which might bring some heat onto you. So
I'll take it.
Plus 1 heat on the score.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
It makes a lot of sense to me that the Bluecoats would get some heat from that because they don't like me anyway. So that's part of Oscar's character, is that the Bluecoats and him aren't really good friends.
So you originally have 0 in sway, so you
that's
can roll
correct.
1 dice now.
Okay.
And then Wacasis with more than that.
Yeah.
How about you, Wacasis? Anything?
I mean, I think I'll just roll my sway. It makes sense, and I'm good at it also. So, well, I just needed the special ability for my level, right? I think that's the only other thing I need to do.
Yes.
Okay.
For your playbook advancement, and
yes,
these are both going to be rolled at controlled because you guys rolled so well on your engagement.
Okay, so great. Let's see here.
Like it's gonna be a 6. So
God did.
I helped. You guys, I helped.
go ahead and take a stress, Wacasis.
Me?
You.
Do I get to clear a stress because I crit? Did I crit?
No, you
did
didn't
not
crit.
You just got 1 6.
Dang.
6 and a 2.
Come on.
Sorry, man.
All right, yeah. So you guys, you start this commotion out front with your small gang of dudes, and Wacasis goes over and starts trying to get the attention of the guards. How do you want to play that out, Wacasis?
So are they able to see the front door, or are they able to just from the alleyway sort of see like the road or avenue that we came down initially?
The guys in the alleyway?
Like how extreme is this edge of the building? Like how far away from the front are they?
So as far as the view that the people in the alleyway have, imagine if the road you guys came down is going like that, and then their alleyway is like that, and you guys like came from this way, and like.
So did we pass them on the way there?
You're partially past them, but there's still enough, and your group is sizable enough that they have a small view that there is something going on, but they don't have enough of a view to see everything. But they know that something is going on.
Okay.
Just because they can see it.
Okay. Well, I want to like creep up on the edge of the alleyway and like stick my head out over the edge to look at the guards, just like the top of my head.
They look at you. You're like, get out of here! Don't cause any trouble.
Hey.
Hey, what?
And they hear this old man in the background. Ah! They're coming for me!
God damn it! It's like, all right, come on, let's go check it out. And they saunter on up to the front
They
to see what's
saunter
going
quite
on.
gleefully.
Yeah.
Say, you guys are red sashes, right? I'm like staring at their red sashes.
And they both look at each other and look at each other's red sashes. And one of them looks at you and is like, no, we're the blue sashes.
Oh. Where are the red sashes?
What do you want?
So, what's your deal?
What?
What's the story?
What's my deal?
What's with the red sash? What's this for?
We're seriously having this conversation right now? Who are you? And what is going on over here?
Jed, you're just gonna let him do that?
And they kind of like push past you, and they're gonna go try to sort out what's going on with the idiots.
That was the easiest distraction of my life.
Like, hey guys.
You rolled a 6.
I know.
What
it.
do you want from me? You want me to roll 6.
Nice.
And so they start trying to get in there, and there's only 2 of them, and so they're outnumbered, and the ruffians they don't immediately go to just straight up punching the dudes.
We like to call them the pawns of the Gambit.
Yeah, pawns, definitely. They're shoving them back, like, get out of here. This is our problem. We're gonna do it ourselves.
I think at that moment, Oscar looks in to the other ones at the front door, and says, "Oi, do you see what they're doing to you, boys?" And like kind of points back to the group, and you can probably clearly see amongst the browns and blacks of the ruffians of the pawns, like the red sashes of the red sashes.
Yeah, and they definitely notice, and they come to try to break it up too. You know, all 3 of the guys at the front door.
Cool.
And so, it seems like from what you guys saw, the only 2 guards left are the 2 on the roof. But they're watching what's going on, and maybe one of them has his rifle up on his shoulder, you know, just waiting for an excuse to shoot somebody, you know.
Okay. Lyric and Hester, is this a good moment for you guys to sneak by?
I imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like everything on our end is working up here. So
I think, and you can tell me wrong. I think Hester and Lyric are probably like, we didn't go with you 2 since you guys went with the drunkens. We're probably like standing across the street watching this happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And like the whole idea is you distract them and then we get in.
Right.
And now we're trying to get in.
Yeah, totally.
I imagine you guys worked out some sort of signal or something like that, so that Oscar or Wacasis can signal when you think it's clear.
Yeah, I yelled, "My leg!"
Used to be a
Thanks for that.
adventurer like you.
Yeah.
Took an arrow to the knee. All right. So it seems like from your guys' view of the situation, the back of this place should be pretty darn clear, you know, from what you can tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the front has all the eyes of the guards on it, but it seems like the back should.
Okay.
Okay. I think this is the part where Hester, we see him, and rather than wearing like, you know, his fur coat over just no shirt and anything, he's wearing like darker clothing with like a slightly like a tied up collar, kind of like the they used to, trying to think of what this is, like a really tight collar down the front, you know. Trying to think of the, anyways, doesn't matter. He's wearing black clothing, and this is where I'm saying that he is wearing his shadow cloak. Is that what it was? Yeah, fine shadow cloak. Which,
Spooky.
allows him to blend in with the shadows. So.
Wow.
And I think he looks over at Lyric. He's like, "This is our chance, Lyric. We should go for it."
All right. I'm with you.
Cool. So we're gonna roll the engagement for your guys' plan to do the stealth. I think that I'm gonna call it 3 dice for you guys on this one. I'm giving you the extra dice because of the distraction, essentially.
Sure.
Sweet.
We did
Thanks,
it, Anthony.
please.
Roll
Beautiful.
3d6. 4?
Okay.
So not the worst.
Modest success.
Alright, so PCs initiate their chosen plan, but an unexpected complication arises. Here are some options. Rotten luck, a third party interferes, or tougher than it seemed. The target has resistance to this plan that you did not expect. So I'm leaning towards the second one, personally.
Which is?
The tougher than it seems.
Yeah, there's an unexpected resistance to the plan, So what I imagine happens is you go down a different alleyway and swing around the back, and there's 2 guards posted at the back door.
Okay.
Is there possibly a way we could, instead of entering from the ground floor, try and maybe get in through like the second story or something? Because we're talking about like it's a building, right?
Yeah.
So I'm picturing like a building on like a street, and we're on the opposite side of that, so we're not we're not facing the street. Is there like a way we could jump from the building rather than the rooftop, maybe from like a ledge from somewhere else to a window?
I think that would be doable.
Okay.
Mike, your mic is really quiet when you put your hand there.
Is that better?
Not really.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, that's way better, what you just did.
Still better.
When it's closer to your mouth, it is better.
Alright.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let me know if it gets too loud.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
I'm gonna bring you guys over to a page so I can kind of give you a picture of what we're dealing with.
Okay.
So let's clear these drawings.
Uh-oh.
And let's.
Hold on a second. My, apparently, the stream... Hold on. My overlay is, like, dead. So, like, it got deleted. So, it's a very naked stream that we're watching right now. Allow me, yeah, I know, Anthony's, like, in the big screen there. Give me just a second here, guys.
You're the star, Anthony.
Let's see. That's pretty funny.
It's bizarre.
And I wonder why it's doing that side. Really strange. Okay.
Also, my Skype name. Good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good.
Stand by while we fix this shit.
Perhaps I should... trying to find out how it's showing Skype over there, though. Like, why is it...
So weird.
It says it's showing Google Chrome, but it says Skype there.
Do you have your Skype window, like, over your Chrome window?
Nope. It's on an entirely different monitor.
It's weird.
It is really weird.
Well then.
Skype is weird, so...
Yep. Okay, why is this thing not showing up now? Okay. Stream, I might not be able to show you what Mike's trying to show us right now, but I'll work on this during the break. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, we're almost on a break,
yeah.
So... Let's say... Alright, building 1. Alright.
Okay.
And then...
It is a rectangle stream.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
One rectangle. You got the... Road.
It's underneath the rectangle.
Roar.
That's a weird...
That's
roar.
Okay. Not to be confused with the fabulous movie The Road, but with Viggo Mortensen.
Yikes. Yeah. That one is pretty good.
And there's probably, other buildings and stuff. I'm the best at the drawings.
It looks like industrial England, everybody.
Yeah. Right.
But with orange rectangles instead of actual buildings.
If you go to the Google Plus forums for Blades in the Dark, you can see some pretty cool representations that John has done of what Blades looks like, and it's really cool. So
the building with the X on it is your target's building, and the distraction is happening like right about there. There's
right in front of it on the road.
The 2 guards on the roof there. Then you got the 2 guards on the back door there. And you guys, you probably, you think you went down, like, the alleyway between the other 2 buildings? So you're
think-
right about there, maybe?
we're probably about there.
That would make sense.
So
Yeah.
there's no guards in this alleyway right here.
Not
Like if
currently.
okay,
They got distracted.
I think that this is what Hester would do. Is he would say to Lyric like, "You should follow me," and then I think he was going to try to go into that alley that there are no guards in.
Okay. I'm on it.
And you ideally probably want to do this without getting noticed by the 2 guards on the back door.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. This is where
Ideally.
you do what you do best, right? You get to try to.
I mean, is the alleyway on the side of it like a place that they are not allowed to go?
I mean, if theoretically, if you get too close to an area that a guard is protecting, then they'll investigate you.
Right. I just didn't know if like the alleyway next to the building was off limits, just because like.
It was guarded before.
Oh, okay, sure.
So yeah, if they see you
Technically.
heading down that alleyway, they'd probably at least send one of those 2 to investigate.
Okay, I would propose this as a group action,
Mhm.
which I think that Hester would be leading.
Okay.
Also, fun thing that we haven't implemented yet is that in the group action, if the leader fails the roll, you don't take stress from that, which I thought was pretty cool. So,
What
That's
about
good.
not taking stress?
if the leader fails a group action roll, there is no stress taken from that roll from the leader.
Okay.
AKA, you cannot give yourself stress from doing a
Yeah,
group action.
that would suck if you could do
But
that.
Yeah.
but somebody that roll, but like Matt just gave me stress in that role.
Yeah, because
Yeah, because if
you're the
the
leader.
people helping you fail, then you have to pick up for the stragglers, essentially. So
Yeah.
But
if
you
you're the
fail-
straggler, then you just, I don't know, deal with it.
Deal with it. All right. So do you
Sorry,
think
man.
this is a group prowl action?
Yes.
Prowl. Yes,
Now,
I
prowl.
do.
the fine shadow cloak. What kind of bonuses does that give you?
It doesn't. I would perceive this as possibly. I mean, it basically is. Here's what it says. It's a hooded cloak made of rare Ruvian shadow silk that blends into the darkness around it. So,
So maybe just probably just increased effect or increased position, something like that.
yeah, maybe it lessens the effect of like it's hard. It's basically just harder to see. I don't know what that would entail here, but
Better position, probably.
Yeah.
So I think that you have that. You also have your silly, hey, I can make people not look at me ability.
yes.
Between all of that, then this is probably a pretty controlled role for you.
Probably.
Yeah, I think that Hester's not going to do that, as it's probably a good idea that Lyric can see him. So,
Right, so I don't totally lose you.
I can't
Hold
really
on to
pick
his
and
cloak.
choose.
Have her hold
Yes.
on to your cloak.
You're my
Okay.
magic carpet.
It's just a creepy Russian vampire guy leading a slightly less creepy Leviathan hunter lady.
I don't know if she
through
is
a dark
slightly less
alley.
creepy.
I think I'm a little creepy.
Yeah.
I'm a little hard to look at.
Definitely.
All right. Go
Hey.
ahead and make your group prowl roll.
All right.
Cool.
Do you have any devil's bargains, or should we? Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna.
'Cause
I'm gonna just do this, like that, without
Push.
devil's bargains. Never mind.
pushing yourself
I
is
should
up.
have definitely done that.
Oh,
Shit. Okay.
how is that possible?
Remember how I said I wasn't gonna make myself invisible?
Oh, it's all my fault. You did it for me.
It's like for the first
Now
time
we're
in
so
centuries,
exposed.
a ray of light breaks through the clouds and shines directly on you.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, that's just not good for you guys.
Hmm.
So, you're going to, end up in a risky position after that because they're going to notice you. I think there should still be the chance to resist that consequence, right, of being noticed. if you roll a resistance roll.
I would hope so.
Yes. Also, so here's my question, because that was controlled, right?
Oh yeah, it was controlled.
So it says on a controlled 1 to 3, you're blocked, you hesitate, or you falter. So now we're moving on by seizing a risky opportunity. Is that what you're saying? Like,
Yeah. So let me just.
so basically, we can't get past them the way we were going. So we have to find a different way to do this now.
So I think that with that in mind, what probably happens then is I think that from that back door that they were guarding, it's not 2 more Red Sash guards that come out, but there's a small group of maybe like 3 or 4, looks like just people who work in that office building, like clerks or what have you. Maybe they're heading out to their lunch break or something. So they come out the door and they start like walking towards you. So they're like in between. They're gonna be like in between you and that alleyway. So you can see a risky opportunity. Try to do it again. So like the risky opportunity would be, let's try to blend into this crowd a little bit, get through them, and then into the alleyway before anyone notices us.
We could try it.
Yeah, I think this is the point where Hester's like looks at Lyric and he's like, we have to do this. Excuse me, that's a different character.
Nope.
We have to do this now. We have to.
You're the voice of my friend.
Yeah, we have to do this now. We might not get another chance. Let's go.
All right.
And they do that. I think.
Let us blend.
Go
Got
ahead.
a devil's bargain this time, maybe.
Don't you just roll the same dice pool?
Oh, do we? I think we do.
Or is
That's
it
right.
or is it a completely different roll?
It is the same dice pool. But I don't think that there's anything that says we wouldn't be able to take a devil's bargain now.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think there should be anything that can stop
If
you.
we already had one, then I think we definitely wouldn't be able to. But
Yeah, if you already had one, you wouldn't be able to take another one. But I think that on the second roll, you definitely should be able to either ask for a devil's bargain or push yourself if you want.
I'll ask for the devil's bargain first before deciding to push myself.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah. You get separated from Lyric.
Wow. Douche move.
Brought it up because Ian expressed that concern a little bit ago. So.
I think that depends fully on who has the egg.
Ooh.
I'm trying to remember who actually had it when we left.
I don't think we
I
established who
don't
had
think we
it.
established because we'd been surveying.
Yeah.
Want to do a flashback?
Sure.
Who has? We can. This can be a no stress cost flashback.
Okay.
It's
I was
not
gonna
really-
say that would suck. Just
But-
because we forgot to establish who had it.
We can flash back to the Gambit, and you all are standing around the egg, and you're trying to decide who's gonna take the egg. Who's gonna carry it on them. So how
Right.
does that conversation go?
So I assume it's after we've established that Hester and Lyric are gonna go.
I imagine this is the whole group standing here, kind of like, okay, now who's going to take it?
Yeah.
Hester would definitely be like, I think that in this situation, I probably should be the one to have the egg because I have the most chances of getting it to its place. I don't think he's any like kind of like defers to Lyric like it's your decision on this one, but I think that's just my say.
I would say that probably in this situation, you could handle it best. So, go for it,
Okay.
and I will back you up.
I would like to incite a flashback to a moment in undefined moment after that is determined among all of us, but before we have split up and I'd like to. Oscar would like to pull Lyric aside for a moment.
Okay.
So I imagine we're like getting close to the tavern that I'm supposed to go meet up with the idiots at. And Oscar kind of he like stands off on a corner or something, and you see him like digging through his bag, and he just kind of says, "Lyric, come over here."
Yeah? What is it?
I know that when we were in the Gambit, we agreed to give him the egg, but do you think it wise to trust the man? We just only met him, and we've given him something that we've all discovered is a bomb.
That is true.
And a powerful bomb
course.
at that. And a powerful bomb that will affect me, especially, and it might affect you. We don't know we don't know everything about it. I just... Look, I trust your judgment in giving it to him, but do your best to stick it close to him. It would be terrible for something to happen with that we don't plan to have happen.
It seems like foreboding. We cut back and then...
Yeah, totally.
But... So I
Okay.
nod solemnly.
Okay. And he
So
like
now we're...
and he like in his bag, like what he's reaching around for, he grabs a flask, opens it, takes a sip, and puts it back in there, and we continue onward.
All right.
Do I have to take stress for that flashback?
No.
Like 10 at least, right?
At 10.
Yeah, instant trauma for that one.
Oh, she failed.
Do you want to take our break now?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go ahead and
That's
do
a
that.
good place.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, we are going to take a quick 5-minute break. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. This is our 7th week doing this. We've been doing it with mostly consistent scheduling. We've had a couple weeks off here and there, but this is our 7th actual week of doing Blades in the Dark. It's a lot of fun. I know that we're all having a good time with the system. I recently started DMing a campaign of D&D 5th edition, and that's been a lot of fun, but like, holy moly, I just think about the simplicity of this versus being a DM in D&D 5th edition, and I'm just like, wow, this is something that's a ton of fun to play, and it's not a whole lot of work to set up, and that's pretty cool. So really excited to be here. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. We will be back in like 5 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Thanks.